The past month, I actually converted from the latest DJI Gimbal to the all-new Insta360 Flow 2 Pro because it actually features full metal legs for quick tripod needs, whereas the DJI, you have to use a small portable tripod to thread in on here. And it also features a very compact design. However, when you wake up the Insta360 and we attach our phone, there's a cool little mirror right here where you can see your reflection as you're filming. In addition to that, this gimbal can actually rotate a full 360, where with the DJI, if we unfold this, cannot, as it's locked to 180 about. And then the DJI requires a sensor to be able to track using the native app. However, the Insta360 is one of the few gimbals that is able to use Apple DockKit, which allows you to not have an internal camera hooked up to this, just to utilize the tracking feature if you just plan on using the native camera app on your iPhone. So in this video, if you just picked one up, I'm gonna go ahead and share with you my favorite features and some cool tips and tricks that you could do on the new Flow 2 Pro. And of course, timestamp to everything will be in the description down below. Let's get started. Let's talk about user preferences. If you're using an Android phone or an iPhone, the Flow 2 Pro actually has a max capacity payload up to 300 grams, which means you could use something with a light case like the Samsung S25 Ultra, or you could use an ND filter on a normal size iPhone 16 Pro like we have here. And then if you pick up one of these MagSafe adapters, which makes a whole attachment, which makes your life a lot easier to quickly attach it to the gimbal, just like so, than you would if you use the one that's included by Insta360, which allows you to use this like clamp design and just center it with the logo of your phone and just place it on like so. But I think the MagSafe attachment's definitely worth the extra $20 because this acts like a cool kickstand for your device, and with a compatible case you can use this on an Android device, as you see right here. And this also twists fully 360 and allows you to actually hold this like so as a nice little backup so you don't drop your phone, and the magnet's pretty strong as well. So the beauty about this gimbal is the fact that even though it does have a built-in metal tripod legs, you still have a little thread right here to attach it to your tripod. Then it still remains to be a 3-axis gimbal. And it's one of the few gimbals that not only allows you to extend this up to 6.5 inches, but if you move the elbow up like so, and if you look closely right here, there's a little arrow, and you pivot this to the on position, this is actually one of the few gimbals that actually will rotate while the elbow and the arm is fully extended, giving you endless possibility to deliver some cinematic shots. So with an iPhone, if you haven't set up DockKit, just quickly turn on the gimbal by long holding the power button until the LED light turns on, and then just quickly rest your phone on top right here, and then this little window will pop up and just tap connect. Now next time when you power this gimbal up, it will automatically launch the native camera app on your iPhone, and you can simply just attach and tap the trigger to recenter. And it just already begins tracking me, as you see right here. Literally the phone is just moving. It's pretty neat how it's able to do this. And a quick overview on how this works. When it's pulsing, that means it's tracking. But if you tap the trigger once, it'll end the tracking and it's no longer pulsing. So now if I move around, it's not going to track me. And if I like to re-enable the track, just tap once on the trigger one more time, and then it's tracking me right now. And if it's solid green, it means it's on standby, it's waiting to track somebody. Keep in mind, this only works on iPhones, because if you're using something like an Android device, you're going to be required to use the little AI modular tracker that Insta360 sells you could provide, which just simply attaches like so, and then you have access to LED lights. And then from here you could do like palm movements like this, and it's immediately tracking me. This way you could continue using the native app on the Android. But on iPhone, thanks to DockKit, all this is built in. Additionally, other things that's built into this phone is if we switch to the front-facing cameras and use this little digital rotating wheel, you can actually zoom in and zoom out. But when it comes down to its button shortcuts, regardless if you're using an iPhone or an Android, it's basically this. Hold down the power button right here for 2 seconds to turn it on. Long hold to turn it off completely. A single tap will allow you to quickly check the battery life percentage with the LED lights. And if we turn this back on, and if we hold the trigger and then tap on the power button once, it will actually show us the battery life percentage while the gimbal is turned on. And then if you're trying to reposition the camera, a triple tap on the power button will put the device on standby mode. So it's still on, it's just not enabling the gimbal motors, which allows you to freely move it, get in position, and tap any button on the gimbal, and it will automatically wake it back up, basically. And then these arrows right here on the right side, a double tap will quickly switch the camera from landscape to portrait mode. And if you're using a native app from Insta360, a single tap on the arrow will switch from front-facing and rear-facing camera, but here we have to manually switch. But I find better results by triple tapping the trigger button, because I move the gimbal up, you notice we're using the best camera up front, 50 megapixel, and if I triple tap, it will automatically flip our good camera in front of us, and we can utilize that mirror better so we know that we're in frame. Now real quick, if you've been enjoying this video so far, if you could take 2 seconds and hit that like button and like, truly appreciate those, because I like to keep these videos powered by you guys, the viewers, which is why you don't see sponsorship ads for like a VPN or something like that to subscribe to. I just like to keep it straight to the point without like a minute or two ad that you can't really skip. So thank you to those that hit that like button and like, really does help out a lot. Let's resume. And then obviously we have this joystick over here to pivot the camera to our preference. You can also manually move the camera if you like to switch it from landscape mode to portrait mode, as well as position it to the exact position you like it to be at in case the joystick isn't working out for you. And then let's say for example I just moved the camera and then I like to recenter everything. Just double tap the trigger button and it will automatically recenter the camera back to the defaults. And then when it comes to mode selection by using the native camera app, the top LED light indicates you are on auto mode, which is the default mode for most users, as this allows the gimbal to automatically adapt on the situation you're in. But if we tap the power button once, it will move the light to the right side, and this is now in follow mode, which will allow the camera to pan and tilt based off the movement. And if we tap again, now we are in the bottom mode, which this is pan follow mode, which only follows pan movement. Great for smooth panning shots. And then if I tap again on the left side, this is FPV mode, which gives you full manual control, great for like drone-like footage and movements. Think of forge mode like in Halo. And then tap again, it'll take you back to the default auto mode. If we hold down on the trigger right here, it'll lock the camera to the position you last had it. So it's not moving whatsoever. This is a good to use for like those cinematic product shots if you're looking for some great B-roll. And then if you tap once and then long hold on the trigger, this will activate Active Plus, which will allow the gimbal motors to be more responsive and quicker, which allows you to run full sprint while still delivering some nice stabilization performance. Just keep in mind, it will increase stability, but this will also likely drain the battery a little bit quicker on the gimbal. Now let's launch the Insta360 app. Here you have a lot of amazing tools. It should be identical on Android side too. And the first thing I recommend others to do, especially if you have like a large phone like the Samsung over here, or maybe a larger iPhone 16 Pro Max, or an iPhone 16 normal size iPhone but was in a case or something like that on your device, go in here and go where it says motor strength, change it to high, as this will prevent the motors from overheating if it can't keep up, and it's likely to give you the best stabilization if you have a case or an ND filter on your device. The only drawback to this is it will drain the battery life a little bit quicker. Additionally, this is where you can also change the zoom speed. If you want the scroll wheel to do something else aside from zoom, it could be manual focus. But down here you can change the joystick speed, the B-roll speed, B-roll detection, zoom speed, this is what I was talking about earlier. Make it fast, you can. And you can also enable horse tracking from here too. A lot of amazing features here. I highly recommend just going through here and making sure everything is to your own personal preference. But everything else is pretty much self-explanatory here. Now, the cool thing about the Insta360 app is you do have an on-screen teleprompter, which you could hit record while using the native app from Insta360, and you could just read the text from here as a teleprompter, and it won't show in the video. And if you like to enable hand gestures instead, you can enable it from here, and it'll give you a whole tutorial on how to activate it. And you can enable which kind of gestures you like it to track or not. Insta360 made this section super easy to use. There's no need to watch like an hour-long video to understand how to use this now. And of course, the resolution, just like your iPhone, you can have quick access to it right here. Now, if you are using Apple ProRes, I'm excited to let you know that by tapping in these dots over here and you scroll down, you'll see a new setting where you can enable Apple ProRes right here without you having to actually go into your iPhone settings to enable this. And then yes, it does support an external USB-C drive if you like to hook it up. It'll save the file directly onto it. Now if you have an Apple Watch and you like to control the gimbal from here, you can, because the native app from Insta360 actually allows you to do this. So I'm going to place the iPhone right here. I'm going to launch the Insta360 app on my Apple Watch. If you don't see the app, just install in the App Store and tap open. And select search for device, select the Flow, and then it should automatically pop up. And you'll also be able to see a viewfinder of what the camera sees. From here you have full freedom to move the camera by just simply sliding your finger. It can be a little bit laggy on the watch, but in real time I am controlling it right here, as you can see. And the viewfinder is updating, just not as quick. But here you can select track. And if you like to switch between landscape or in portrait, just like so. Then you can hit the record. And if you need to readjust it, just slide your finger like so. Just go ahead and take the iPhone if you like to control it with another phone instead of your Apple Watch in case you don't have one. Right in this bottom row over here, you'll see like a phone icon. Click on here, launch the camera app on the phone you like to control the gimbal with, scan that QR code, launch the app. It will take you to Safari, and it will just wirelessly connect, just like so. And I have full controllability. A majority of those icons that you have on the native app from Insta360, you have the ability to also change between the different modes right here, as well as flip between front-facing or rear-facing camera. It's pretty awesome. In addition to that, you can also use this digital wheel to switch between the many different modes right here without having to tap the screen when using the Insta360 app. And again, this little arrow icon, by simply tapping once, it'll switch from rear-facing and back-facing camera. Right now, it's kind of hard to see this on the camera, but it is tracking my face. Like, you know, when you make an X, a square around the subject to track. By tapping on Pro Frame Grid right here, this will allow you to reposition the area you want it to track. So basically your rule of thirds. So now the tracking will keep me around that general area. Another thing you could do here is enable rule of thirds. By going in here and enable grid, you now have the rule of thirds right here, as well as other additional tools like selfie flip, personal preference. It gives you a lot of customization settings right here. And then if you just unplug the gimbal like so, this will just indicate telling you that the adapter isn't plugged in correctly, there's a balance issue, or there's no phone connected to it, as you see right here. But if we store this gimbal back in our floating position, it automatically turns off the gimbal from like this as well. But if you look closely, you'll notice there is a USB out port right here. This is here because if you ever have to treat this like a portable power bank in case your device is low on battery, you can just simply plug it in like so long as it's on the USB out port. And then just tap the power button once, and it will automatically start charging our device. And then another added bonus, if you have your phone attached and you need a longer extension than the default 6.5 extension that this gimbal can provide, fold down the aluminum legs as they're very sturdy and just grip onto it, and you gave yourself like an inch more length just by simply doing that. Additionally, if you have like a DJI mic like I do right now, you can just hit confirm and literally just plug it in to the USB-C port, confirm, and the microphone will automatically be synchronized. You can use the native one from Apple, or you can use the Insta360 app and it will automatically use the microphone from your adapter to your recording. But there you guys have it. Those are all the incredible features that the Insta360 Flow 2 Pro has to offer. My overall thoughts after upgrading from the DJI to this, it's absolutely incredible. Not only does it have a competitive price tag, but the engineering and hardware that this thing has, like the aluminum tripod legs and stuff, really does come in handy, especially in situations where you just forget to bring your tripod with you. It's a nice little backup for those last minute plannings, and it's still very small and compact. It's no bigger than my very large Samsung S25 and its competitors available in the market. But with a lot of amazing hardware and software features I haven't seen competitors enabled on their gimbals yet whatsoever. They're definitely one of the first, especially the fact if you're part of the Apple ecosystem. DockKit definitely does come in handy. You don't have to bring a little camera adapter just to enable hands-free tracking if you're using the first-party native camera app on your phone. But there you guys have it. Hopefully you guys found this video informative and useful. If you did, greatly appreciate it. If you could take 2 seconds to hit that like button and like, those really do help out the channel. And if you haven't picked one up yet, I'll be sure to include an affiliate link in the description down below for you. It doesn't cost you anything extra. It just gives a small kickback to the channel, which allows me to continue making these honest review videos for you just like this. As the brand isn't paying me or anything like that to produce a video, and I like to keep it that way. So if you like to support the channel, you know what to do. And that link will be automatically updated on any deals and sales that's going on if you're shopping around. Thank you once more for watching. But real quick, if you wish to watch more, there's these 2 videos right there. The top one is my most recent upload, but the bottom is a video that YouTube is recommending specifically for you. Feel free to click on it and let me know in the comments if that video that YouTube is recommending was something that you actually did liked, and see if it's actually accurate or something that's actually worth watching, or just something they're just randomly throwing in. So let me know in the comments if you can. Thank you once more for watching.